This is the last of 3 videos for Rotary International, documenting the results of an interactive workshop. The players attempted to use Smartsettle Infinity to resolve the conflict in a place we called Kashland, which is presented as an imaginary place very much like Kashmir. The goal of the negotiation, simulated here from the World Bank's point of view, is to restore peace to the region, with decisions on a wide range of issues. Much of the context is abbreviated or left out in this last video, so it is important to start with the first video to get a fuller understanding. It is important to understand that the creation of a single negotiating framework is about identifying and defining an enormous amount of common ground. This is critical to getting the parties ready to settle the remaining issues using Smartsettle Infinity. When this framework is modeled with Smartsettle, the parties are able to negotiate those remaining issues with packages, rather than using the traditional tedious issue-by-issue negotiation dance. A package is a complete set of values for all the issues. Negotiation with packages enables Smartsettle to help the parties reach an optimal solution with no value left on the table. In this negotiation, when the blanks are filled in, the single negotiating framework becomes the final agreement to replace the existing Indus Waters Treaty. After sufficient orientation as to how the framework is used in the process, parties meet together, assisted by skilled Smartsettle facilitators to create that document. It is during this time that they gain trust that each of them is negotiating in good faith. It is only when that trust is established that the process will result in a meaningful and useful outcome. The Smartsettle facilitators are critically aware of this conundrum and are specifically trained to address it. In practice, creating the single negotiating framework is an iterative collaborative process, together with modeling the problem and each party's preferences within the Infinity interface. This iterative process continues until everyone understands what is being negotiated and everyone's interests are represented. When all parties are satisfied that all issues that are important to each of them are represented, they can comfortably proceed to the final bargaining stage. By this time, they will have also practiced their negotiation amongst themselves with Smartsettle Infinity, having different parties within their team take on the roles of the other parties. This exercise gives them confidence that the system is not only able to accommodate any proposal that they wish to make, but is also able to generate potentially acceptable solutions that they might not think of on their own. They might even practice with their opponent in a role reversal exercise, in which they anticipate what the other parties might want. The practice phase continues until every party is completely comfortable with the process. By this time, the parties fully understand that they have pre-accepted the single negotiating framework in a binding way, so that the final step will be just a matter of filling in the blanks. Therefore, it is essential that the appropriate professionals review the framework before the parties reach agreement, and that all parties are confident that it is comprehensive, realistic, well-composed, and ready to implement immediately. This is a summary of the issues that represent the blanks in the single negotiating framework, agreed to by the 3 parties. Half of the issues are not of direct concern to the World Bank. Opposite the other issues are relative importances that were determined by World Bank's representatives in their own breakout room and kept private and confidential by the system. The international contribution issues were each assigned 50 points for a range of $5 billion. Since these issues are linear for the World Bank, 1 point is worth $100 million. Using this measure of satisfaction, the World Bank assigned points to the other issues. The most important issue to the World Bank at 120 points was the elimination of nuclear weapons in 6 years, as opposed to 20. This is the World Bank's private point of view within Smartsettle Infinity. What the World Bank prefers on each issue is on the right-hand side. The World Bank has created some private reference packages. These packages have ratings that are determined by the relative importances and satisfaction functions assigned to the issues. The World Bank has created a package named Status Quo, which represents the absolute minimum that they must achieve in this negotiation. The World Bank has arbitrarily set the rating for Status Quo to 0, to make other packages easier to compare with it. Their target package is worth 52 points, or about $5 billion compared to the Status Quo. This is how much the World Bank hopes to achieve in this negotiation. The World Bank starts the bargaining process by submitting their optimistic proposal. When the other parties do likewise, all 3 proposals appear on the table. One suggestion appears which seems even worse than the status quo. The World Bank requests another suggestion, which is a lot better even compared to their target. The World Bank secretly accepts this suggestion and ends Session 1. In Session 2, Package 7 appears, which is also quite good for the World Bank, so they secretly accept this one as well. In order to show some movement, the World Bank offers a visible concession. Even though Package 6 proposed by India seems attractive compared to their target, World Bank decides to not accept that package for now and ends Session 2. When World Bank ends Session 2, they are surprised to discover that they have already reached a baseline with Package 7 that is much better than their target. After a search for hidden value, Smartsettle offers an improvement that is worth 6 points more than the baseline and 15 points better than their target. The improvement is also 67 points better than the status quo and is easy for the World Bank to accept. After all parties accept the improvement, it becomes their final agreement. Having already prepared a sound framework worthy of international treaty status, it is a simple matter of filling it in, and their negotiation is complete. Here we see the improvement compared to the baseline and the status quo. Earlier in the presentation, we estimated that 1 point was worth about $100 million. At that rate, the baseline and the improvement are worth about $6 and $7 billion respectively to the World Bank compared to the status quo. The comprehensive Infinity collaboration system uses 8 sophisticated algorithms that can support the most complicated negotiations that you can imagine. Please visit the e-negotiation channel on YouTube, where you can find more videos that describe each of these algorithms in detail. This is the last of 3 videos in this series. If you haven't seen the other 2 videos, look for India's point of view and Pakistan's point of view. Both of these videos are available on the e-negotiation channel on YouTube. Thanks for watching.